welcome back to yet another edition of Survive to Thrive. That's right, with me, Dr. Todd, every single day bringing you tips and tricks to get you out of this life of just surviving a day to thriving. It's kind of a cool concept, isn't it? But the point is that you will have and walk away from this podcast with an idea, a concept that you have to put to work. I love this. Oftentimes, self-help and people that are trying to, anchor your money down to be able to help you get out of things. Well, you know what's interesting? Help is one thing, but actually taking responsibility is another. And the concepts that we're going to talk about today will require 100% of you. And this is the cool thing. So let me introduce it like this. We were walking around Salt Lake City over the weekend, collided with our family out there. It was a good time, and we were walking to, I don't know, we were just walking downtown and just kind of having fun and stuff like that. And Sailor, our youngest, was like, whoa, look at that. And so there was a Lamborghini, and it was kind of like this white pearl Lamborghini, and it had one of those red, almost fabric tops to it. And I was like, wow. Out of all the choices that you could get for a Lamborghini, and here I'm judging it, I'm like, But Sailor wanted a picture in front of it. And I was like, absolutely. So we took a picture in front of it. She kind of flexed. She did one of these, things in front of it. And then we moved on. But the purpose today is to think about a Lamborghini and all its cylinders, all its horsepower, all its glory, if you will. And you hop in it, and you can only use 2 cylinders. So 2 cylinders would not really express the full magnitude of what this vehicle could do. It's a race car. It's designed to haul ass, and it's designed to corner. It's designed to just go fast. And see, the concept is, if you had just only 2 of those cylinders and couldn't use the full Lamborghini, you would be kind of like, do I gotta pay for this? I don't really know. Well, it wouldn't be a Lamborghini now, would it? This is the same concept that the introduction of this podcast is getting at. What would be the value of having all of those cylinders? You look at a car, a vehicle, very easy. Well, the value would be what? Paying full price. That's what you feel like you should get, is the full value of this vehicle. I get all the buttons that work. I get all the cylinders that work. I mean, this thing should be fine-tuned. In the past, I've bought vehicles, and you ever see that little square that's like plastic? You're like, what could have been there? Did I not get all the options in the vehicle? Stuff like that drives me insane. Like, I could have put something there, and what would that have been? Meaning that the manufacturer has it for something else. I want to know. But this is the concept. But getting back to you, what would be the value in getting to be all of you? What would be the value, or ask yourself the question, what would be the value if I got to be all of me? See, here's the concept. You have suppressed, because society has taught you to do this, you have suppressed a lot of who you are. Now, this could be something that started as a kid, that maybe you started looking at magazines. That's what we used to do before, like, TV got crazy. 3 channels on television, most of them were fuzzy. We're like, yeah, let's do something else. But anyways, you got an image that you might have chased. You had this idea of somebody that you could be or should be. You watched movies. You learned from other people. You looked at life from an angle of what you could be, and started actually suppressing who you are. So your innate design, your blueprint, started to get shut down. We do this in discipline as well, don't we? With our children, if you have children out there. I've always said our youngest, she's a Spitfire. Our whole goal on this was to actually, put bumpers. It's like bowling with bumpers. She's going down this lane. And all we can do is hope but to guide. That's it. and lessen the blows on either side. You know, not to fall in the gutter, but to just, you're going to hit something, and there it is. We could discipline the crap out of this one. All right, but then you're shutting down self-expression. I mean, there are elements of like, hey, that's not going to fly. This has got to be curbed, no doubt, and we shut that down. But the concept is you've been shut down. Maybe it was disciplined out of you. Maybe you had these hopes and dreams and you had these ideas. I've often talked about the creativity. The creativity of the human mind stops at around 9 years old. We just shut it down. We stop being who we are. To what? Conform to society, one, or two, to become something else that somebody told us we should be. Now, this is the concept. If you could unwind that and get to be all of you, what would that look like? What have you shut down in your world to become something else that you know doesn't fit you? I would contend that most of society's problems with anxiety and depression, and it was just in a city that has some of the highest drug abuse rates, pharmaceutical drug abuse rates, some of the highest depression rates in our country, because of people surrendering themselves to a view or a look of the way it should be. If you've grown up with religion in your life, you've actually suppressed a lot of who you were or are because it's not acceptable. You've shut it down because it's not acceptable. You know, the funny part, it's all still there. It really is all still there. And a lot of what you're suppressing is causing anxiety and depression. It's like you wanting to bubble out, but it won't because you keep pushing it down. Isn't that a true definition of depression? Not being able to get the whole you, not being all of you. Like in this group of friends, I can talk about these things, but we don't talk about this. In this group of friends, I can talk about these things, but I don't talk about this. You see, fundamentally, we actually are like a bowling alley where you go down the lane hitting bumpers of like, you know, this is okay and this is okay. When was the last time that you could truly express all of you? Experience that freedom of you? Could you imagine being 100% all those cylinders firing like that Lamborghini? I would contend that you would walk away with more clarity and certainty in your life. Oftentimes people are looking for clarity and certainty in other people, which is the same concept of what we are talking about right now. It's like the Lamborghini is like, I can't go all full cylinders because I want to be like a Ferrari. I need to see a Ferrari and how a Ferrari's going to do it. No, it's not the way that works. See, Lamborghini is built and it does nothing more than what it's built to do. And I would contend today that you have done this in multiple areas. You've tried to create a body that's not yours. You want a body that looks like something that's not yours. Don't get me wrong. There's things to strive for, I should say, in directions that you can go. All right? But oftentimes we set ourselves up for failure because we're trying to be something that we're not. I'm not going to be 6'4", so I can't look at somebody and say, hey, I want to be just like that person. It's not going to happen. All right? But why don't in my body do something that fits for me, that actually serves my purpose on a daily basis? For instance, I have to be strong to serve people. I want to be flexible and I don't want to have pain and I want to be able to go out and play football and soccer and not like be the old guy. So I do a workout based on that to serve my purpose with my kids and with my practice. Imagine having the freedom to believe what you want to believe rather than a 2,000-year-old book or a scroll that they found somewhere that's telling you how to believe, connecting with your creator to be able to be all of you, to believe what you know to be true in your heart and not in some book, to be able to be fully expressed in a relationship, to be able to tell somebody close to you, a loved one, that this is what you feel, this is what you are, this is what you want, this is what you believe to be true. See, in a world where we actually continue to suppress, you take you and all of your value and throw it out the door to become somebody else. So the tip and the trick today, we're wrapping it up here. The tip and the trick today is, where could you fully express you? Where could you shed something today that you've adopted from somebody else, or for somebody else told you that this is the way it should be, and go after you again, to explore you, to find you again, so that you have clarity, you have certainty, and you shed that depression, because depression is going to develop from what you cannot be, or what you're striving to be actually, versus actually who you are. And imagine if we taught our teenagers this. The girls, they wouldn't have the warped body images, be running to others for connection. It would be incredible to see teenagers shed the drugs and the alcohol, searching for some sort of meaning and some sort of a chemical, but finding that meaning deep in their own hearts, deep in their relationships with their parents, and deep in a friendship, potentially a friendship that is healthy and allows them to be who they are, versus actually curbing them for what they are and trying to make them something else. You are a mold. You've been designed. Now go challenge that and ask yourself, what would be the value of me getting to be all of me? That's all I got for you today. In Truth and Light, we'll come to you tomorrow talking with more tips and tricks to get you out of this surviving and being somebody else to thriving and being yourself, all of you.